By now we've all heard of this special needs white boy kidnapped and tortured by 4 black people. So naturally everyone is condemning the media for not calling this a hate crime. And to be fair, it does fit the definition of a hate crime.
However, why does that matter? Back in October, we had several fake hate crime videos of clowns and then victims of Trump supporters, so naturally it makes sense we'll be seeing hate crimes against Trump supporters. More importantly, it is your right to be able to create fake videos for entertainment purposes on whatever the new theme is.
Now there's a big difference between faking a hate crime for YouTube fame and reporting a fake hate crime to the FBI or the police, which should always have consequences.
This video starts out with racist language, disturbing hazing, and possibly unsafe handling of a knife. However, it doesn't become a crime until in the longer video, where they start scalping flesh off the skull and dehumanizing bleeding as, quote, leaking. Furthermore, no visible effort is made to stop the victim from bleeding to death, and instead of trying to patch the wound, the sadistic adults sprinkle ash into an open wound and attempt to hang him.
True hatred is when you take zero responsibility for physical assault that you personally have caused.
And that's what makes this video truly disturbing.
That's how we know this isn't just hazing a willing participant in a shocking video, but instead we are watching a cat play with its food. Now some will blame drugs, alcohol, psychological anti-white propaganda, or a slew of other things. But I blame an unwillingness to stand up to the social mob.
Imagine if just one person had stand up to the group and simply said, "We have an injury, we need to stop."
Instead of asking, what if the races were reversed? Let's take a moment to ask what if the races were the same?
For example, the 2 girls that tricked a 3rd girl into going into the woods so they could stab her to death. Because all 3 girls were white, there's no hate crime. More importantly, no one is exploiting the victim to raise issues.
Well, I might be doing that now.
From what I can tell, Anise solved problems with violence, and Morgan and the victim were used to role-playing. Now, no one actually forced Anise to stab the victim. Remember when we used to teach kids to stand up to peer pressure? Calling this a hate crime is exactly what the Black Lives Matter want, because hate crimes is how they raise their sovereign citizen and segregation agendas. Hate crimes give them easy wins, and that's where real problems come in. Let's take, for example, from the Department of Labor, Tyson discriminates against everyone. No, I'm not kidding. You look at this first one, 9250. We have blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, whites. What's left? Well, according to another document, it's actually Asians.
Asian supremacy does exist.
We jump down to 9017, and we see that there were not enough Asians. Now, the Department of Labor uses some sort of standard deviation to make the decision. But if you look through all of these different locations, Tyson pretty much discriminated against everyone. You see, from my understanding, these are people who want to keep government contracts, which allows the government to bully Tyson into hiring more people. It also allows Tyson to be bullied into paying people it didn't hire.
Does the government take away your unemployment benefits if you refuse to work on the farm?
This is what your tax dollars are being wasted on, using easy-to-calculate numbers to figure out if there's discrimination. But how can we really trust these quotas? According to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, quotas are first done by voluntary self-identification. It's voluntary, so you can choose any race you want, any gender you want. And if you're afraid of being discriminated against, why would you tell the truth? But more importantly, self-identification is confusing. For example, does a dark-skinned person from India put down Asian or put down black? How about a person from Russia, Asian or white? And you know what happens if you pick refuse to self-identify? Someone who's never met you is going to decide your race for you. That's right, the government doesn't even track it. So if you really want to screw over the quota systems, start putting 2 or more races, because the government actually tracks it and they hate it.